Ignite is an ongoing series of speedy presentations. They've ranged from building multi-person pogo sticks to hacking chocolate. Any topic that geeks hold dear. Each speaker gets only 5 minutes and 20 slides that auto-advance every 15 seconds. The talk you're about to hear was recorded live at one of the featured Ignite events around the world.
So our next speaker, we're moving into a technological talk, and that is something I know nothing about, so this person will explain it all to you. Our next speaker is Reno's local expert on all things Bitcoin. Am I pronouncing that correctly? All right. He's a computer scientist and co-founder of RoboCoin, which is the first full-featured Bitcoin ATM. Please welcome John Russell.
Okay. Do I get extra time? What if I were to tell you that the vast majority of all the things we hear about the government doing can be traced back to a single sentence? That is, in this sentence, this single concept that we have all seen and read at one point or another is what lets them continue completely unscathed regardless of the severity of the crime committed. This sentence is this: this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. This is not changing. Thank you. That's it. That sentence right there. An innocent sentence until you understand its implication. This single sentence establishes a monopoly on the monetary system through legal tender law, the most powerful tool at any state's disposal. This single sentence forces participation to every single person, both today and in the future, who transact and generate value. This single sentence introduces a pervasive and secret form of taxation most of us never even notice: inflation. This single sentence, by printing and quantitative easing through the mechanism of inflation, enables central bankers to steal from your savings without ever actually having to take a single penny from it. This single sentence gives them a monopoly on money creation, giving them valuable pre-inflation dollars that they happily spend, which are eventually circulated to us, where the dollars we receive aren't worth as much as what they receive them at. This single sentence gives them the power to tax the unborn, binding them to debt that sabotages their lives by hindering their buying power. This single sentence promulgates their wars, their pollution, their violence, their scandals, their media, their schools, and their debt interest payments without ever having to make an account for their actions. This single sentence enables them to represent and trade our lives like human securities abroad through a national debt. This single sentence, through this national debt, lets them sell bonds, which are nothing more than a representation of our lives and their guarantee to their investors that they have control over our lives and the production we can generate from living them. This single sentence eliminates competing monetary systems that have the potential to be moral and voluntary and peaceful, but they greet such systems with threats, fines, and prison time. This single sentence preserves and protects the real status quo, the central bankers. This single sentence, up until now, left us helpless to disassociate ourselves from their monetary system. This single sentence, up until now, birthed us into a stacked game that we never wanted to be a part of, a game that we had no control over and had absolutely no say in the matter whatsoever in how it is run. But something has changed. We now have the technology to electronically democratize a new, global, interconnected monetary system befitting the 21st century. A monetary system that is regulated and secured by the laws of mathematics, not by politicians, bureaucrats, and bankers. This new electronic system, invented just recently in 2009, has finally reached the masses. This system, by combining the internet, modern cryptography, distributed protocol techniques, and some original genius, promises to lead an intellectual paradigm shift that will dwarf the disruptiveness of the internet itself. This new system is Bitcoin, a decentralized, electronic, anonymous, fixed quantity currency that has successfully found a way to encrypt wealth and let us voluntarily transfer unlimited amounts of value as fast as an email is sent. Let's compare some of the differences between the banking system and Bitcoin. Money creation is giving to the people, not to the central bankers. Bitcoin is deflationary in design. There's only a finite amount, and as the scarcity increases over time, wealth can increase over time. Our banking system is inflationary with potentially unlimited amounts of money. Scarcity decreases as the amount of money enters the money supply. Participation. Bitcoin is voluntary. Those who agree with the protocol rules choose to participate. They can create a separate ledger book and adopt their own rules. The banking system forces you into it through their legal tender laws. Security. Bitcoin can never be counterfeited by anyone. Your Bitcoin can never be taken without your consent. The banking system can be counterfeited. It can be printed. And it can be taken without your consent by banks and by governments. Bitcoin is not non-reversible. Every time I send Bitcoin to one of you guys, there are no such thing as chargebacks. Nobody can stop it. Never, ever. Banking system transactions can be reversed once placed. Transactions can be stopped. Bitcoin is entirely anonymous. The Bitcoin network does not identify you, just your address. The banking system, unless you're dealing with cash, it's not anonymous at all. And even then, you're always flagged when you're withdrawing large amounts of cash from banks. Transferability, try sending a micro penny or $100,000 to someone in Cuba instantly. Processing fees are virtually non-existent right now. And of course, it's unstoppable transaction. The banking system, try sending those values and see how far you're going to get. Bitcoin is going to free ourselves from a monetary system that needs to be replaced with something that is more efficient, more fair, and more feature-rich than what we have now. We deserve better. Consider purchasing and accepting Bitcoin. Discover the many benefits it provides that the current system simply doesn't or prohibits us from doing. The Bitcoin revolution is coming. Be ready. Thank you.